And this story talks about this young man, this young man, he was very sad, and he was not having good days. And so he started crying, this young man, he started crying. Okay, and he was crying because his brothers and sisters were fighting and calling each other names, okay? They were calling each other names, and so this young man started to cry even more. Bah! He said, my brothers and sisters are fighting and calling each other names, and I don't know what to do. And so that young man ran off into the forest, and he put his head down on a rock, and he started crying. Bah! I don't know what to do. He said, my brothers and sisters are fighting and calling each other names. I don't know what to do. And finally, the great mystery, the great creator heard this young man crying, and he looked over the forest like that, and he saw this little dark brown head with this little tiny braid in the back, and he went down to that boy, and he said, what's wrong, my son? And the boy told him how his brothers and sisters were fighting and calling each other names. That little boy kept crying, bah! He held his hands high up in the air like this and said, Creator, I'm just having a bad day. Oh, nah, he was just having a bad day. All right, do you guys have brothers or sisters that cry like that? I do, and my brother's 75, and he cries like that too. He has bad days like that. Even my teenage nieces and nephews, they'll have bad days like that, and they cry. Okay, and you cry for no reason whatsoever, all right? And so the creator, the great mystery, heard this crying. And so he went down there, and then he gave that little boy one of these hoops, one of these circular-shaped objects, and the boy took it, and he looked at it, and he looked at it, and he said, what's this for? And the creator said, make as many things in nature as you can. Make as many things, and your people will become stronger each year. Okay, honor nature and be grateful for all living things. And so the boy, he took that hoop and he started dancing and dancing away, making all these beautiful trees and plants and flowers and animals, things that this young man saw in nature. He went down to that river and gathered red willow that grew by it and started making hundreds and thousands of these hoops until they were piled up all around him. And he started dancing and dancing away, making all these beautiful trees and plants and flowers and animals and butterflies. He went back to his village, and he was coming upon a hill like that. And his brothers and sisters were still standing there with their fists in the air. And for one single moment, they dropped their fists in the air, and they saw that young man coming upon the hill like that, with all those hoops all around him. And you know what his brothers and sisters said? They said, you know what they said? They saw that, they said, holy what? Holy cow, right? Holy what? Let me try that dance. So each one of the boy's brothers and sisters, they grabbed one single hoop from the boy, and they started dancing and dancing away with him, making all these beautiful trees and plants and flowers and animals and butterflies, all those things they saw in nature, and they danced together. That's what's called the people's hoop dance, because it is said no matter what race or tribe or religion you are, you're all part of this hoop, a part of this sacred circle